going on, Flu enthusiasts, and welcome back to our channel. And for today, I got an update on my Flu deck profile for this format with some crazy spices and deck choices. And this is gonna be a big announcement. But this is gonna be my last ride with the birds. This is gonna be the last normal summon of Robina for me, because as part of the 1k sub giveaway, I've gave away this Flu deck to one of my biggest fans of this channel. So I hope he's gonna enjoy this. By the time this video goes up, he should already have it, and hopefully he's tormenting people with Shifter. And with all that said, let's get into the deck profile. Starting off with 2 M-Pen. This is quite mandatory. This time we're starting off with the big birds. Make some changes around from all the Flu deck profiles. But yeah, M-Pen is a really good card. It's, you need to play 2 because probably you're already gonna use one anyway, and then you want another one for the grind game. Or even summoning 2 M-Pen is crazy. M-Pen also wins the Malice matchup because M-Pen automatically solos Malice, which is really fun. And next up we have 1 Apex Avian, just another big bird, alongside with our Ryza, the Storm Monarch. And yeah, this is very standard, basically never changes, it's all the big birds. But for those of you who are new to the deck, Apex Avian is the Omni-Negate that you're always gonna bounce back to your hand and keep tribute summoning for it. If you have Winds up, you can also tribute summon your opponent's monster, which is quite nice. And again, this is like an Omni-Negate. And on the other hand, Ryza spins back cards. And you're always gonna spin back Ryza, but maybe sometimes you don't. Maybe you're approaching the end of the game, so you're not gonna spin back the Ryza, which is fine. But it's gonna spin back a card on your opponent's field, either graveyard and one card on your field, which is gonna be the Ryza. Well, an additional card on the field, which could be on your field as well or your opponent's field, but it's gonna be the Ryza really. And without that said, let's get into little birds with the 3 Robina, the Mystical Robina. I've already sleeved up my signed Robina, so no signed Robina for this video sadly. But yeah, she's chilling there in the binder with all my other signed cards. Beautiful collection, by the way. And let's continue with the 3 M-Pen. These are your most important birds for this deck, hence why they're the only ones we play at 3, as this deck can sometimes break obviously because there's just not enough of them. Robina, absolutely crazy. Robina does everything. Robina, add Eaglon, normal Eaglon, add M-Pen. That's the full combo for y'all. There we go. And yeah, but also Eaglon is full combo as well if you have map of course, or maybe you have another bird in hand, like a Stree. There we go. Maybe use the card. There's a card in the grave. You can go Stree, banish one, summon Eaglon, search, or the other way around, whatever, and still search for the M-Pen, tribute M-Pen, and that's a full combo anyway. Though it's not as great as you either need the Eaglon and another bird, or Eaglon map. Robina and map though, absolutely crazy combo. And just the 1 toucan, just 1/1. I don't think you need more. You never really need more, as they can just recur themselves. Toucan adds any Floowandereeze card from the banish back to the hand, and 3 banishes any Floowandereeze card. So even M-Pen, which does not banish when it leaves the field, you can banish the M-Pen really. Yeah, probably are not gonna need that because you have 2. But in case you need to, there we go. Or speaking about banish, we have our honorary Flu, the DD Crow, as this can be searched easily with Robina, so we can search for an interruption, against those Fiends mid decks. For example, everyone right now, it's all hyped about the Beastals and stuff, and everyone forgot about the DD Crow. But we don't need that DD Crow, we don't need to special summon. And we can always search the DD Crow, like I just said. And speaking about more banishing, we got the 3 shifter, which, shifter and Floowandereeze go hand in hand. Having your opponent stuck from their graveyard is nice. You're gonna make every Malice Fiendsmith player out there regret their decision for going on the Fiendsmith engine or either on the Beastel engine instead of the shifter engine. And yeah, shifter is not fun. Shifter is not fun, especially if you play a graveyard deck and you get shifter is not fun. But we are here for the flu. We are here to torment our opponents, and we need the shifter. And let's get into spells with a 3 map. This is our field spell I just mentioned. It's quite nice, as basically just another search. Really, it banishes 1, which you're always gonna just add them back to the hand, because you're gonna normal summon 1. You're gonna summon 1 of the birds you just revealed, so you can easily just use the effect of the other one to chain block as well. This is quite a nice deck, unlike Tempai for beginners, because it teaches you a lot about chains and trigger effects. I like Tempai's, which just activate Sangan, put a helmet on, go battle phase, go boom boom boom. And I know I just offended some of you, but Chandra is limited to 1, and Kaiman is limited to 1. That's sad. Not for me though. And yeah, let's continue with our flu deck profile. With the 3 Advent, Self-Explanatory Advent, so it's a crazy good card. Randomly, it also gives you life points as well, so you can win the, in time, maybe your opponent's gonna combo a lot, because obviously your flu turns are very slow, are very fast, because you are not really gonna have any that crazy much of interaction. Your combo literally takes like less than a minute, really. So somehow they decided to give flu a win time condition, which is crazy. And here we have our 4th Advent in the form of Swallows Curly. It's not as good as Advent obviously, but it's our 4th Advent, and it does help consistency quite a lot. Especially that due to the recent ban list, we lost 2 prosperity. So we need to get as much consistency as possible. And to finish up the Floowandereeze spell, we got 1 Floowandereeze and Unexplored Winds. Extremely beautiful art. And crazy effects, really. Allows you to kind of reshape your hand. You could shuffle back a DD Crow as well, especially Ryza or Apex Avian to hope to draw into Royal Robinas and stuff, or maybe Toucan and all that. It does allow you to reshape your hand, but most importantly, it allows you to tribute summon. Whenever you tribute summon your own big birds, you can use a card on your opponent's field, which is crazy because for some reason you don't need to tribute summon opponent's monsters. Well, you can tribute summon any card on their field, which I found out later, and I thought that was absolutely insane. And obviously, tribute summoning your cards away, your opponent cards away, is the best form of removal, I would say. Besides shuffling back to the deck, but that does not get over unaffected monsters like Chaos Angel and such, or God knows, whatever Raid Raptor boss monster they're gonna use. I forgot his name, but think about the Raid Raptor boss monster, Ultimate Falcon something unaffected. Tribute summoning just goes over all that, so you don't need to worry about that, flu players. And there we go, we have 3 Pot of Duality. I wish this was 3 Prosperity, but sadly 3 Prosperity is no more. But however, we can use Duality, because again this deck does not special summon, we only normal summon. And we keep gaining normal summon, so we don't need to special at all. And yeah, here comes the Duality. Excavate 3, add 1, we could add Rubina, or maybe going second you want to add a board breaker, because right, you didn't see any hand traps so far, and that's basically because you play so many board breakers, which I'm gonna show soon. But next up we have one extra, two extra. But yeah, this is basically the second and third copy of Prosperity. There's the one Prosperity. Slightly worse than Prosperity, but it does draw you two, which is kind of great because Flu, unless you draw Robina, it's kind of like a 2-card combo, which is right because you can also draw Bird plus Trust or something. And speaking about Trust, is coming in now. There we go, 3 Trust. 3 Trust. Yeah, with so many people hand trapping you, there we go, we can trust them. And that's pretty funny, and because we have so many cool trust targets to go through, which I'm gonna go in a second. But yeah, trust just allows you to set one card from one spell or trap normal from your deck if your opponent activated a monster effect during your turn. But if your opponent also has a monster in the field, which they will do when you go second, you can also just add it to the hand. And stuff, you can add stuff like Triple Tactics Talents, which is really good also going first, because you know you get hand trapped, failured or something, and you don't have shifter. You can tactics, look at your opponent's hand to rip one, or maybe you want to steal a monster to tribute over it, or you want to draw two because you need to find your combo pieces. It's quite versatile, it's really nice. Another step, we have the Dark World No More, which is really nice. It does do a lot of work against Ryzel as well. Not so much against Malice really, but it does do a lot against Ryzel and so many other decks out there, such as maybe decks that play with a Fiendsmith engine. And for other scenarios, we have the spell card, Soul Exchange. It's a really good card, you know, allows you to tribute, it's really nice. This is basically just Flu support. This is really Flu support and nothing else. So thanks, Konami. There we go, rippling some support for Flu players in the form or no Flu cards, quite funny. But yeah, it's also just a normal spell, so you can trust into it. Going second, obviously. Going first, you always trust into talents, or maybe other cards such as Terraforming. To add your map, this is our 4 copy of map, but most importantly, we can trust into it, which is really nice and quite versatile. Or maybe we already have full combo and want to trust into a Featherstorms, which is absolutely funny. Your opponent hand traps you on like an Igloo, and you just trust, set Featherstorm, pass, Featherstorm, boom. Your opponent basically has turn skipped. There are so many decks out there that just can't play through a Featherstorm. Obviously, there are some Labyrinth can. They just set their cards and they set their traps and pass. But you know, against no lab, you could just play the Featherstorms, which is really funny. Also, you can just hard draw it, which just makes it even more funny, really. Not so much for your opponent, but for you, very funny. Again, for more going second power, though, we have one Evilly Matched, which is really good, especially against Malice. But most of the time, really, that's the problematic part. Is that, you know, when they don't play shifter, they're gonna go for the combo line to end on that random link that I can't remember the name of. So random link name, insert random link name here. That's gonna send to the graveyard the one that is basically spell trap negate, which, you know, obviously is not really good for you when you want to evilly them or break their board. But maybe if you shifter them, obviously they cannot do that, or if they run the shifter build, obviously they can all do that because that card needs to be in the graveyard for it. But that's against balance, really. Against other decks, shifter is quite nice as well. It does bait out Omni Negates, which is really nice. And maybe, you know, after you shifter your opponent, you can also bait them out with going to battle phase in like game 3 or something. Just say battle phase even if they have evenly, and just see them trying to activate all their stuff. So they get evenly the way. But still a quite alright card, but we can trust into it. And something that we shouldn't really trust into it because Empen just searches is the Dreaming Town. It's obviously who would negate Empen? No one would negate Empen because you just maybe for all of chain blocks and they ash the Empen really, but that's about it. That's the only time you need to trust into it. But obviously this is just to round up the main deck. And speaking about it, let's go into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we got some spice incoming in the form of Frigid, Meteorologic Aggregator, got Omega, and Garura. So what do these cards have in common, guys? Yeah, your average flu extra deck right here. What do these cards have in common? That's right, Ultimate Slayer targets. Garura draws you one, Frigid draws you one, Aggregator negates one, and Omega does whatever Omega does. And yeah, these are all nice and shiny, you know. Just imagine you play 2 or 3 of each copy for your Ultimate Slayer, spoilers, in the side deck. But, you know, I don't. YOLO, I'm never gonna banish them with extra. Trust me, bro. You can also play Fuko. I know it's quite weird. If you have map, you can special summon because you're gonna have two names on the field. Because what you're gonna do is you're gonna map, normal summon with the map, and then use the effect of whatever you send to the banish that back to hand. Use your normal node it, and then you're not locked from special summoning, but it basically can't do anything. So that's where you go for Fuko. It's unaffected. It's a wall. It's a big unaffected wall, and it's quite funny. But maybe you don't need it, so you just go into Anima. Well, all of your cards are level 1s, just I don't know, maybe you want to play some Albion as well to go heat up, access code something, I don't know, maybe use Downward to make Zeus. Maybe you have an Italian opponent and they want to be funny. Or maybe you just want to play trap tricks. Maybe you just want to play trap tricks. This is your average flu extra deck. This is how you should build your average flu extra deck. But yeah, with all that said, now let's get into the serious part. Besides the main deck, as my camera gets knocked over. We are gonna get into the side deck, which is gonna composed of prepare your wallets, follows. No, it's Purulia. This is follows at Walmart. But yeah, follow Purulia, quite a nice card. Obviously, that's somewhat contradict with Shifter, but that's fine. Because, you know, guess what? You can Shifter, Chain Follow. Chain follows or Purulia follows if you got a strong wallet enough for it. But Purulia, if you don't, it's quite nice. Some people do main deck follows, but I'm not so sure about that because obviously going first, that card is just dead. It's dead. You can't even use it in the grind game. Unlike maybe like a Trust or Tower no more. And I guess those lab players make Dark Morgue. and watch them cry because this is pretty funny. And yeah, also going second against decks like Ryzil, or first against decks that want their bodies on field to XC summon, synchro summon, or link summon. You go Book of Eclipse. Ignore the fact that this is a Book of Lunar Eclipse. This should supposed to be a Book of Eclipse, but I couldn't find it, so substituting for the second best thing, which is the Book of Lunar Eclipse. And next up we have the Ultimate Slayer, which I did spoil by showing the extra deck. Pretty good card going second, especially against Ryzel. It does break the board quite nice, allowing you to get over the detonator and then negating an extra card on the field. Quite nice, quite nice. And against back row decks, we have our Lightning Storms. Or maybe also against Link decks or any other decks really. Going second Lightning Storm is quite versatile. And some people do not respect Lightning Storm and still put their cards in attack. And for going first, we got Dimensional Prison. I know so many one-offs. Joshua Smith, if you're watching, if he's watching this, is probably puking right now. No, Joshua Smith, Jesse Cotton, I'm so sorry. I know you really had 2 hopes, but I'm playing Trust. So I'm playing 3 Trust, so that's my excuse. But yeah, Fissure, quite nice. It's basically a shifter in the form of a spell, continuous spell. But most importantly, we can play it going first as of first thing we do. And obviously that's gonna protect the Robina from any other cards like Ash and all that. It's gonna protect the field spell from ogres. All the cards, all the hand traps that need to be discarded to the grave to activate, they're gonna be useless. So you're gonna play your turn, slightly slaver. It's basically just going first is basically just the 4th and 5th copy of Shifter. And speaking about more copies, we have more copies of Featherstorm strong up the side deck, because we want to be absolutely toxic with our opponent going first and make sure we don't turn that Featherstorms, because breaking with his deck makes up for it. And yeah, Featherstorms makes your opponent cry, and all that said, Cassius signing out.